Okie doke. Hopefully that is all good and all live. I'm just going to add a little bit of tape. I was all organised to go live on time and then I wasn't. That's the way it goes. I just don't want my grid paper to move, so I'm just going to add a little bit of tape. Okay, make sure I'm all live. Let me know if you're joining and where you're from. I'd love to know. Just going to sign in. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. If you are, hey Jenny, if you're joining, I was organised and then I decided to do things last minute, which is always the way. I've got a fun card to share tonight, so I was mucking around a little bit earlier and decided that I would make it with everyone, even though I have only done it once. So we hope that it all goes to plan because it is a fun fold, which it probably doesn't look like it at the moment, but I will share in just a moment. I'm just trying to turn some captions on while Facebook decides to tell everyone that I am live. Hey Heidi and hey Megan, it's been a long time. This is the first time I have gone live since the end of May. Well, actually I did pop in and okay, I think it already has captions. I did pop in while I was gone, but it is the first time I have actually gone properly live since the end of May. Oh gosh, my computer's got the turning wheel. That's never good. Never good. Okay, make sure that's off. Okay, I think it's good now. I don't know if I need to swivel this a little bit or zoom in. Hello, Verity. Okay, we'll see how that goes. It might be too far now. I'm not sure. So yes, it is the first time I've gone live properly since the end of May, so it's good to be back. I've had a little bit of a, what do you call it, mojo funk or something. Lots of coffee, not much crafting, which is odd because I've had heaps of new things to play with. I just have been really tired. So you haven't had a pizza in over 6 months, so you decided to get Domino's. That's awesome. Well, I'm door dashing ice cream at the moment, so Elijah's on strict instructions to get the DoorDash when it arrives, because ice cream sat out there would never be good. I'm going well. I just am tired. I think I've got like chronic fatigue or something, and I'm totally in my pajamas. So yes, hey Sue, and I've got a rash. So if you see my arm, it's covered in a rash at the moment. So I'm allergic to something. I haven't worked out what. You're still doing them. Oh, Megan, you make me want to do last minute swaps, and I haven't done any. Okay, so I'll share, before I share tonight's card, I'll show you, I did do, so I'm all for joining other people's classes and getting some mojo happening when I don't have any. And I love doing classes with other people. Oh, I've got a hiccup. So I did just complete this, which hopefully it's in view. This was by the lovely Shani Haynes of, I feel like her page is Stamping with the Maples. So I did do a retreat, a retreat at home, and she did this country birdhouse sampler, which was a bit fun. So I played and I sat there and did this last night, and do you know what? She die cut everything. I didn't have to die cut anything, which is crazy how many die cuts she did. So this was with Shani Haynes and Chrissy Graham, and I've still got Chrissy's class to do as well. So it was fun to just sit there and not have to think. I followed along with the class and I didn't change too much. So that was fun to sort of have that little bit of free crafting without having to think too much. And I did do, you should do them. It's not a fun fold swap, although I've done one. Of course you have. Oh, thanks Heidi. I hope you feel better soon too. I also did the online stamping retreat with Kylie and Bruno Bertucci and Lisa Curcio and Gina Hawley. And I have been sharing some of my projects. I shared another one yesterday. But I finished off this one. This was the Bruno project, and anyone that follows along with Online Stamping Retreat or knows the go, Bruno's projects are always intense. Although I haven't done Gina Hawley's project yet, and hers looked pretty cool as well. They all look cool, but as far as fun folds. So this one here, this was the picture we got, which it looks, you know, okay. Actually, I'll show you the back. Then the back opens up to be a card. So it's got that space. Now this is the Fly, I can't remember the name of this. Take to the Sky suite. And then inside, this is actually just the envelope. So inside, this is going to be really hard to show on a live video, but and I had to photograph it too, which was really hard. It's called, I can't even remember the name for this card. That's terrible. But it kind of sits, like it sits out, so when you can have it on display basically, but it's really hard to show on a video and not have it set up. So I've had to photograph it. Now it all folds down flat, and that's why you hand make an envelope so that it can sit inside, because this will not fit into a normal sized envelope. But they kind of get a little present with an envelope and then the card on the back. So yeah, really cool. I did that. I think there's some other projects floating around here that I've done, but I haven't been prepared and got them out. So I will share the project I'm doing tonight. Is made with the Hearts and Hugs suite, which is this one here. It has this cute stamp set with a few creatures and some beautiful sayings, and it comes with these dies here. So it has some dies to cut out all of the animals, plus you've got a label die, which is cool because you could pop those. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Someone's written. My son's Messenger Kids is hooked up to mine, and it's really annoying because it rings all the time. Anyway, these come with all the little bits to cut out those animals, but it has some extra little flower pieces as well, which you'll see me use. So it's that one, but I'm also using the dies from the Spotlight in Nature, Spotlight on Nature. And these have the cute circles. There's actually more than what it looks like because there's a whole other sheet there. So you get tons of dies in that one. I believe these are in back order, but they're coming back, I think, in the next week. So they're not too far away. But the cool thing is, because they come in bundles, this month the bundles are 10% off if they're Stampin' Dies bundles. So now all the bundles that are in the catalogue are 10% off anyway. So this is a look at the Hearts and Hugs bundle. I've got hiccups, so it's driving me nuts. So the Hearts and Hugs bundle is 10% off anyway, but this month with the promotion you get an extra 10% off. So you're getting 20% off the bundles, which is really cool. Which if you're a demonstrator, you already get 20% off. So essentially you're getting them for 40% off. Another good reason to join. Yes, and you also get 10% off this month on the Stampin' cut and emboss machines. So if you don't have one of the Stampin' Up cutting machines, and that includes a little boho blue one. So this is my little boho blue machine that sits on my desk. I have 3. I love them so much. So they're 10% off this month as well. So I'll pop that to the side and share. I hope I left that embossing folder out. Goodness knows where I put it. Okay. So this card, I couldn't really share a sneak peek of what it does, and it's really cool. It's inspired by Sam Calcott, I want to say. She's not Stamping Up, but she has a cool YouTube channel. Anyway, this card's got a belly band, and I'm just going to lift that up. I've used the Dots and Spots die. Now, it's really hard because it's nighttime as well. So this has actually got embossing over the background, which is clear embossing. So you open the card up, and then I have used the Drizzling Droplet stamp, which is from the online exclusives, and this is a background stamp. So I've used that with clear embossing again on those little background panels, and I've got some of the critters. But the cool thing about this card is you open it up, fold it together, and then you've got a secret hidden panel. So, and then you can just shut it back up again. So it's sort of a fun little secret card. So I loved that you're doing it with this one because I could just hug you, and you open it up and it says sending a big hug, and then in the middle panel it's got, so it's there when you need it. So I thought that was a little bit fun. It's kind of a secret card. And I have done that using also the Full of Life Designer Series paper, which is these fun, really bright patterns here. So I really wanted to show those off, and I just thought it was bright and fun and really cool to go with those sort of fun animal images. They are amazing. Oh, the circle dies, I agree. I think from memory Sam said, yeah, I think she did. I believe Sam did go off on her own. She's actually got her own product line, I believe, but she does some really cool fun folds. And I was really inspired, and she didn't, I think this might have some dies that sort of does this fold, but I kind of had a look at it and worked out the measurements on my own. So I thought I'd give it a go, and it was a fun way to use this bundle. So I'm going to share how to make it. The measurements I have done, hey Leanne, I sent Leanne a video earlier today of me making this card. So I finished it. I don't know if you saw me open it, but this is the inside, and then we pop it like that. I love the noise it makes. Oh, you missed me opening it, Megan. Yeah, so it's got a couple little critters, and then you fold it this way and open, and then it just snaps shut. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make it though. And I have done some steps ahead of time because otherwise it will take ages. Okay, so I have got all my pieces cut, and I'm going to do it all with you. So I've got all my little squares there, but we won't need those yet. And this is for the belly band. So all of the measurements I'll have in the PDF, but first of all we need the card base. So the card base is 7 inches by 10 inches. I think I did say you're on the hunt for team swaps. The measurements are all in imperial, but it was just, some things are just easier when they're imperial. So I'm going to show you how to make it. So I've got my trimmer in here, and I'm going to pop my scoring blade back in. So on the 10-inch side, I just realised that I'm going to need to pop my arm out. Okay, so on the 10-inch side at the top, we want to make a few score lines. So we're going to score first at 2.5 inches. Make a score, and then score at 5 inches, and then 7.5 inches. So you should make 3 score lines across the 10-inch side. Now we're going to flip it up here to have the 7-inch side at the top, and we want to line this up at 1 inch. Now I want the cutting blade this time, so this time we're cutting. Now I want to add a cut in between these 2 score lines here. So I'm not going to cut right from top to bottom. I just want to go in between the score lines. Okay, then I'm going to make a cut at 3.5. Now I'm winging it because I'm trying to remember measurements off the top of my head, but yeah, it's 3.5. And same thing, I'm going to cut between those score lines, trying not to get my head in the camera while getting them right. And then the last one I want to do is line it up at 6 and go once again in between those score lines. So when you finish, you should have the cuts like this. You can see that, and then your score lines like that. Okay, so I can pop the trimmer to the side now, and we'll start assembling. Now, I'm going to want a valley fold. So fold this in. I'm just going to reinforce that with a bone folder. And then this one's going to be a mountain fold. Now we've got those pre-cut pieces, which can make it a little bit difficult sometimes, but I just want to make sure that they're all scored well. Oh, sorry, I went the opposite way. That was supposed to be the other way. Okay. And then this one's a valley fold again. Okay, so you should have it sitting somewhat like that. Okay, and then these bits are what folds in to make your card. Okay, so that is as simple as that bit goes. Now what we're going to do is start adding our decorations on. and then I'm going to show you how the mechanism works. So the first thing I'm going to do though is probably the embossing. So there's a little bit of embossing on this card, which is why I actually went ahead and did some of the embellishing first, because otherwise it will take forever. So I'm going to put this one to the side for now. What I want to do is grab the bits that I'm going to emboss. So I'm going to grab the front panel and the 2 inside panels. So I've popped the measurements for these, but these will be in the PDF as well. But the front panel is 5 by 7 inches. And the 2 inside panels are 2 3/8 by 6 7/8. So they're the sizes for those ones. Now these are embossed differently, but I'm going to show you them both. Now I went to town bringing out clear embossing powder for this one because I don't use it enough and I thought it would be really fun. So I have got a stamp positioning tool. I know you can't purchase this one anymore, but I still love to use mine. I'll just add that back in. Okay, now I have got my Drizzling Droplets stamp, which I showed just a little bit earlier, but I'll bring it in again in case you're joining a little bit later. This is the Drizzling Droplets stamp, and it's from the online exclusive section. Now I just want to prep this piece with some stamping, what do you call this? Heat, I forget what it's called now. Okay, it'll come to me in a minute. It's an embossing buddy, I think that's what it's called. Now I hope you can see this. I might have to flip it up. Okay, so I'm just going to ink up this stamp with some Versamark. And then I may have to move this down a little bit, otherwise we won't catch the top of the piece. Now I'm going to stamp that down. I know, Heidi, this stamp I should say is really cute. And it's sort of, sometimes the online exclusives are a bit hidden because we forget about them, but there is some really cute stuff. And speaking of online exclusives, there is about to be a lot more because demonstrators this month can pre-order some new online exclusives that will be coming next month. Now I like to use a stamp positioning tool when I'm using background stamps because they're so big. It's nice to get really good coverage. So I'm happy with that. I've got the drops coming down. Now what I'm going to do is just grab my clear embossing, which the clear embossing powder comes in a set of 3 with white and black. It's the Basics Wow embossing powder. I was going to see how well I can do this without getting embossing powder absolutely everywhere. Okay, now I'm just going to give that a little bit of a tap. Now I'm going to set that, it's a bit funky up here. Oh well, we'll go with it. Okay, then I'm going to set that one aside and do the other one, which I think is hiding under here. Oh, goodness me. Okay. Put the bar on there. And now I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to ink up the stamp and then I love this tool. It's from Crafty Bits and Bobs. Busy with dog stuff. Well, that's just as fun as crafting, I think. Thor gets upset when I come in here and lock him out. He's carrying a toy around singing. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, I'm just going to move this out of the way because as much as it's an awesome tool, it does take up a bit of space. Okay. Rightio. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, leave that. Your pizza has arrived. Well, yum yum. I reckon my ice cream's here too. That's my treat after I've done my live. I figured I haven't done a live in so long. Okay, now hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm just going to pull that off the... I just want to heat this until the embossing powder melts. Now, if you aren't familiar with clear embossing, it really is clear, and so it's just going to look like dark shy shamrock, but the cool thing about it is the texture it gives. So it's going to be a nice glossy, cool texture. Okay, so there's that one, and I'll just do this one. That one was I had a few muck-ups in that one, but it's okay. It's not meant to be perfect. You haven't had pizza? Yeah. I don't think I've had pizza in a long time either. Generally, I eat gluten-free food, so, I mean, there are places that do. I think even Domino's and Pizza Hut do gluten-free now. But getting good gluten-free is another thing. Okay, so there are our 2 panels that we need with the stamp. I hate it when I can feel embossing powder. Now, I'm going to let that dry because I'm going to do a little bit of inking. So I'll move on to this piece. This is the 5x7 piece, and what I'm going to do is locate the embossing folder that I said had gone AWOL. I'm pretty sure I would have sat it and tucked it in on my desk somewhere. Let's have a look. I love it how I say I'm organised, and I'm really not. And it's hard to lose these new embossing folders. I will show you why. Oh goodness, where have I put it? Oh, it's on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, goodness me. So these are massive. Actually, let's have a look. They're 8.5 by 6. So the cool thing I like about it is that it will do a whole piece that we need. So I want to ink up this side, but I just realised I might give the side I'm not doing just a quick wipe over in case it did get any of the Versamark on there. That should be enough. Okay, so I want to add ink to the side that has the Stamping Up on it. And that's an easy way to remember, but you can also ink this side and get a different look. But I'm going to go with inking this side. So I want to add a fair bit of Versamark on there. Okay. Right, that should do. I'm going to grab this piece here. If you get lots of Versamark everywhere, your fingers get really sticky. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my big machine. So remember, these guys are 10% off. So if you don't have one of these, even the small one, now is definitely time to grab one. You can actually also purchase the starter kit and put things like the machine in there at a cheaper price at the moment. So I'm just going to run this through. I might run it once there and back. Hey Christine, how are you? Okay. I'm going to pull out my folder, and then I want this side, so pretty, it looks pretty, doesn't it? But we're going to do something with it. So I'm going to grab my clear embossing powder again. So we're really going to town with the clear embossing powder today. Now I'm just going to literally pour this over the entire piece. So this is a great way to use up embossing powder. I should be using the embossing tray. So if you haven't seen, we do have an embossing tray. It's called the Embossing Additions Toolkit. And that would be perfect for things like this. I'd say I'm being lazy, but I'm actually creating really hard work. So it's a bit silly. And I'm not going to pull it out now. I've almost finished. Okay. I reckon if I ordered Pizza Hut, the dogs would just sit there and stare at me the whole time. And I will not give them food like that. Okay, so I've got that over the entire piece. I need one of those desk vacuum things. I've seen people use them. I hate the feeling of embossing powder. It just, maybe it's a sensory thing, I don't know. I just hate it. It's like sand. Okay. Yes, Heidi, it was part of the YouTube subscription, I believe, because she does one after her normal lives. Okay, so this is already hot from doing the previous piece, so that should be fine. But I'm just going to heat up this whole piece. It doesn't take too long at all, because once it starts melting, it really turns quite quickly. Now, it is quite hard to see on the video probably, but it's very, very shiny. So it just looks like Shy Shamrock cardstock, but the cool thing about doing the embossing folder as well is it's not really hitting the dots. The dots aren't embossed, it's just the background, which is a really cool look. And this looks awesome even with metallic embossing powder. I'm just using my clear today. Now this will be cut down, but I started off with a 5x7 piece, and you'll see why once I show you how I cut it. You can go back over if you've missed any spots. Okay, that's pretty good. So I don't know if you can tell if that's reflecting on the light. You can see that it has created a shiny background. Heidi, I'm not sure. I think it might be $5 a month or something. Okay, so that's that piece. Now I'm just going to let it dry for just a tick because it can remain tacky for a little minute. So let's bring in these pieces. I'm so obsessive about that. Okay, I want to bring in a blending brush and just some Shy Shamrock ink. And I'm just going to add a little bit of ink around my edges, just to add a bit more definition. I'm used to using the glass mat, but over night time, the glass mat really reflects the light, so hence the grid paper. I do love my glass mat. Oh, speaking of glass mat, if you did not get a glass mat, you can actually get one. Well, you can get one if you join, because demonstrators can get them this month. But you will, as a customer, be able to purchase one in July. I believe they're $110, I think. But they're definitely worth it. I use mine all the time. So normally if I wasn't on a video, I'd be using my glass mat, and it makes blending easy to clean up, and it even blends better. Oh, awesome. I'm glad that you can see it on the camera, because it's very hard to tell with some things. Okay, so they're my two panels that I've done, and I could probably adhere those to get them out of the way. So I'm just going to adhere these to the inside of the card. So this is the outside, but I want to adhere them to the inside. And I did say to myself, I will get a new glue out before I go live. I did not. Okay. I just reached into the box that I can't see to grab a glue, because I'm not going to wrangle with glue while I'm on a video. Whoa, this is definitely a new glue. Okay. Let's see. So adhere this down. This is actually a super easy card to make. That fun effect it has is an illusion. Well, it is an illusion, but it's really not that hard to make. I can't wait. I've got a little diagram which I've made for the PDF, which shows you the cut and score lines, but it's super easy. Okay. Pop this one here. I love Shy Shamrock. Who else loves this colour? You were looking at the Tim Holtz one. Oh, the glass mat. Yeah, I love the glass mat. Okay, so that's our pieces. I've got sticky fingers already, which is beautiful. Okay, I'm going to bring back in my cutter, Now what I want to do is make this go on the front of my card, and the reason I kept it as 5x7 is because I want the pattern to match up, so I want to be able to cut it straight through rather than emboss 2 pieces, but I do need it to be smaller. So what I did was I cut, this is 5, so I want to cut it at 2.5. Oops. I did have to press a little bit harder because it is an embossed piece. Now I want to take 1/8 of an inch off the bottom, okay, but I think I did it too much on the other one. I took more than 1/8, so I'm just going to try it this way and make sure I'm doing it. The boys are being so loud. Okay, I'll take 1/8 of an inch off the bottom, and then, yeah, I still got that the right way. You do not want to take any off where it touches in the middle, so because then it won't match up on the other side. So we want to make sure we're cutting from this side. So I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off this side. Oopsie. Make sure you keep it nice and sturdy, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same. So I don't think I cut my bottom yet. No, I didn't. Okay, so I'll cut 1/8 off the bottom here. I like to put it against it to see, make sure I'm not cutting it wrong every time, because that's something I would do. Oh goodness, lucky that didn't wreck it. Okay, that should be good. Let's bring those there. Okie doke. You love Shy Shamrock, yeah. I am a big fan. Okay, now that is going to be stuck to the front so it actually meets in the middle. Now I think I need a new trimmer blade, honestly, but it's all good. Okay, now I found with this, probably using tear and tape would work, but I'm actually just going to use glue, but I'm going to pop it on the bits that aren't debossed, because the debossed bits are probably not going to do too well with glue, although you could just add it to the whole piece, I suppose. I really want to make sure I catch those edges though. Okay. Now I'm going to adhere this down. I just could not do stuff like this with tape because I wouldn't be able to wriggle it around. I like my wriggle room. I want to make sure that definitely is up against that edge. So that's why I love having a moment to be able to move it with glue. So once I'm happy, give it a bit of a press, because that glue needs time to be able to move around, especially on this embossed piece. Okay. Now I can, you much prefer it to the jade one. Was that just jade? Sometimes people talk about colours that are way before my time. So I've only been a demo for, I want to say 8 years. But I did go to Stampin' Up parties when it very first came to Australia. So I may be new, but I'm not new. I was only 17, I think, when it first came. And I used to go with my mum's work friends. It's a bit of a, yeah, it was funny. They were into crafting. My mum was not. Okay, make sure that's all pressed down, because it's quite a thick piece that we're sticking on here. Okay, I think we're good. It's a little bit catchy, but I wonder if I took ever so slightly the tiniest, just jade. Yes, I do remember just jade. Oh, this is not going to be big enough. Not cool. I do have a big guillotine all the way over there. It's just a slither. I should have done it before I stuck it down. I wonder if you'd notice. Give me 2 ticks. There's nothing like improvising live. you never know. I'm a bit of a perfectionist sometimes, but yeah, if that's not meeting in the middle before you stick this down, give it a slight trim. So I made that mistake for you. Okay, so now I don't think we'll do the belly band yet. We'll work on the inside pieces. Ooh, I'm just taking a sip of my coffee. Okay, so I'm going to show you how the inside mechanism works, I think, first. So I've got 2 pieces and I use basic white thick, and these 2 are cut to 2 3/8 by 7 inches. So this is where you'll see how the card is so easy to make. It's very simple once you get it down. Okay, so what we're going to do is feed one of these through on this side. So we want to feed it under that piece, and then it's going to go under this piece and then back through. So it's like weaving. Okay, then this piece is going to be the opposite. So we're going to go under here and then over and then under. So we're just weaving those 2 big panels like that. So now, as simple as that, when you fold it, you can open and then you get your piece. So that's as easy as that card is. It's literally 2 rectangle panels and a couple of scores and cuts, and then you get that fun card. So it looked complicated, but it wasn't. So really simple, pull it apart and then close it shut. Okay, so that is simple. Now, what we're going to do is decorate and put the little DSP squares on. So I've got these cut out already. You'll need 4 squares cut to 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, and then the little rectangles are 2 3/8 by 7/8. So I have gone ahead and cut mine. Now I cut them so they would kind of match, but goodness knows I did this beforehand, so probably should have oh no, there they are. That matches, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pop them like that, and then this one, it's like playing a puzzle now, working out what goes where. Oh no, is that, no, that's not it. Okay, like that. So I'm going to stick these little rectangles on that. I know, it's so cool, isn't it? I just decided this morning that I wanted to do something. I wanted to do a fun fold. I saw it and it needed dies to make it, but I actually when you look at it and just wing the measurements, it was actually really easy. So, and I thought you needed a 12 by 12 bit of cardstock, but you don't, because the card base is 7 by 10, so you don't need a 12 by 12. I don't know why in my head, my bad maths thought that. But this will not fit into a standard envelope, so you will have to make an envelope for it, or just hand it to someone. Okay, so I shall pop that one there. I've got, honestly, how do I get glue everywhere? Okay, then we can just pop that open, and then I'm going to put the other style here. So I've got some of the rainbow stripes. I love this Full of Life DSP. It comes as part of a suite, which I was going to use this suite for the card, but I really wanted something with the cutesy sayings, which the Hearts and Hugs had cutesy sayings. I'm not used to using glue in a big tube. I need to pop it in the little fine line bottle. Although having said that, I just ordered myself one of those precision glue thingy-majiggies, so that'll be handy. You can't work out, oh yeah, see, honestly, Christine, once I worked out how to make it, I'm now beyond caring how it works. As long as I can make it, I couldn't explain the science behind it either. My 10-year-old son probably could, and then he'd laugh at me. Okay, so that's the inside, and then we fold it shut. So it probably is a really simple explanation, because really they're separated. So if you looked at it without the white pieces, so if I take those out, they're folding back on itself. So really it's really just folding back on itself. I drank the Kool-Aid. There we go. So, oh, I hate the fingers. Right, so now on the original card, I actually stamped, and this is probably a good tip to say now, these panels, if you're going to do something that needs stamping blends, what you have to be aware of is that the stamping blends will bleed through and be able to be seen on this side. So it doesn't matter so much because that's being covered anyway, but you will potentially have bleed through. So the other thing you can do is cut 2 of this panel, which was 2 3/8 by 7, and then make 2, I'm not making any sense, but have 2 pieces of these and then stick them together. So that way, which is what I did on this one, that way that's got room to bleed through and not affect the other side. So this time though, to save time, I actually die cut. Instead of doing my blending straight on this piece, I've die cut them. But the other thing that's a good tip is to know where to stamp if you're going to want to do these outside of the panel. You can just add a little bit of pencil there, so that when you pull this out, you know that you've got a stamp in this section and above this section for it to be seen, which I'm going to do anyway because I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on them. So I just want to, for this one, I'm not only going to stamp on the bottom piece. So I'm just going to pull those out and stamp a couple little things. So I want to stamp these little hearts, which are these cuties that are here. So I'm going to get my memento. And just stamp those little hearts. And then up in this top one here, I'm going to stamp sending a big hug, which was this one here. But I'm going to stamp it with Shy Shamrock ink. You wish the glue machine would be good for you? I reckon it would. I mean, I haven't used it yet, but I've heard good things. Okay, now with this sending a big hug, I'm risking the biscuit because I'm just really not looking what I'm doing, but I'm actually stamping it 3 times but only inking once, so it gets lighter as it goes down. And that's with Shy Shamrock ink. Okay, so with these bottom little hearts, I'm going to use my dark Pretty Pink. I generally like to let Memento Black dry, but for the sake of live video, I'm just going to try and be somewhat careful. And then I'm going to grab some Petunia Pop. I think this is the dark one, yeah. I'm just going to dot a tiny bit of that colour in. This is a very dark blend. I think Petunia Pop is very pigmented. And I'm just going to go back with my dark Pretty Pink and blend that out just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to add some Wink of Stella, of course. Oh, you've used it, haven't you, Leanne? I ordered one, but it's not here yet. Glue is my #1 favourite thing to use, so I thought anything that can help me not make a mess is good. Okay, so now I can pop these back in, but before I do that, I'm just going to rub out my pencil mark. If you're happy to wing it, you don't have to add pencil marks. It's just if you want to know, I just wanted to add it to show you. If you want to know where you need to stamp, it's a handy reference. Okay. Right. Now we're good to put those back in. So I want to go under, over and under. And then this one is under, over, under and, goodness, over. Get in there. Okay, that's I've got those pieces done. Now I have gone ahead and pre-done, actually no, I'll do the back and then I'll show you what I did. Because I think, let's check. Oh yes, I need to, I wonder, just to be totally lazy. I didn't think that one through. We might do, because I don't have, do you know what I did? Silly sausage. I should have done 2 panels. That's okay, we're going to improvise. So on this one, you can see here what happens if you have that going like there. So I'm going to fix that. So if you want to use blends, probably cut 2 of each panel. What I'm going to do is a quick fixie. Okay, so I'm going to cut that down to, what do I need? I might go 1 and okay, I've just cut a little panel, which I'm going to stick in there just to hide that little boo-boo. Okay, but what I might do, so normally you wouldn't do this bit. Sue, you'll love the precision glue press. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this one twice, but only ink it once. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And I've got to poke that in there now, just to cover up my little boo-boo mistake. Okay, now what I might do, because I'm going to have the same issue, is I'm going to grab a Stampin' Right marker and just colour in that way, because otherwise I'm going to have to fix it again. Let's see if that's better. Yeah, all good. Oh goodness. Okay, I'll just add a little bit of Winker Stella to my hearts, make them a bit prettier. I haven't coloured with Stampin' Right markers in ages. Okay, now while I'm going to add a little bit of lemon lime twist just spritzed onto this panel. And you'll see in a second how I decorate that. Okay, I've already made a giant mess, but who would not expect that? Okay, pull that back out. Now I have gone ahead and cut my pieces, but I'm going to explain them to you. So this is me organised. Can you believe it? I'm not sure if you can get on Amazon. I don't even know. I got mine from Craft Online. Okay, so I have die cut one of these pieces, and that's from the Spotlight on Nature dies, which were sitting in front of me. Oh no, here we go. I'm just going to check and see which one it is. Yes, so that is the 3rd largest of that design I have cut, and I've cut that in lemon lime twist. Now, actually, I don't need that just yet, so I won't do that. I have stamped each of the cute little critters, and I have coloured them with a whole heap of blends, which I listed all the blends in the PDF. So I just thought that this was focused more on the fun fold and the embossing, so I wouldn't share the blends tonight. I've just mixed it up, and you can colour them whatever colours you like. This one's a mixture of greys, and then I've got some crumb cake. I did a lot of copper clay on this one, and this is a lot of crumb cake and ivory. So I have popped those all together, and this one's for the front, but these little critters are going to go on the inside. From the Hearts and Hugs dies, I've also cut a whole variety of these little flowers and one of the cute little leaf stalks things. And some of these flowers I'll use for the front, but I've also cut a couple of the little ones from Pretty in Pink. So these are Pretty in Pink, and this is Petunia Pop. But I thought it was easiest to show you them all cut out like this and laid out. These ones are cut from the 2024 to 2026 in colour glimmer paper. So I love this die, by the way, because I have it out here. This one is a cute little die that cuts all these hearts out at once. It's so beautiful. I love that. And these ones also cut 2 at once, so it makes it really quick and easy. Okay, so let's start assembling the inside with the decorations. So I'm just going to replicate what I did on the original card. But on this card, I stamped and used stamping blends straight on the card. So I did have to use two panels and back them. So with this one, I thought for the sake of it being easier, I would just have them pre-done. So I'm going to add my little, and these all come with matching dies, so it makes it super easy. Just going to stick him there, and then this little mousy dude is going to be stuck down here, and I'm going to add three of those little hearts to this one, which I do have a fine line glue bottle, but this one has seen better days. Oopsie. It will definitely be good to have that precision glue press. Who knows, maybe next video I'll have it. Okay. Now I'm going to just add a little bit of glitter to my backgrounds. I got a brand new Winker Stella, which I was happy. There's nothing better than getting a new Winker Stella. I go through them like crazy. Okay, these little guys, I love that they're all hugging too. It's really adorable. Okay, I'll stick these ones down here, and then I'm going to add a couple of the hearts. Okay, then I'm going to add this down here. So that's why I just added a little bit of lemon lime twist spritz in the background because I thought it was nice. Okay, so we'll stick that one down, and then we're going to add in the little flowers. So by the way, these flowers are cut from Petunia Pop, but I used a small, oh goodness, come off there. A small blending brush, and I just added some extra Petunia Pop around the edges. I agree, Megan, this would look awesome with the duck suite. I did make, did I share? Oh no, I haven't shared my duck card yet. I have done a duck card. I did ducks with the Lisa card at the online stamping retreat. Okay. Now, when I was making this bit of the card, I thought I really want to add something into the centre of the flowers, but having bulk when this bit's got to shut up wasn't so good. So I added the adhesive backed discs, I think that's what they're called. I did win the Duck DSP. How do you do that with Winker Stella? Oh really? I don't press this too much, so I only press it every now and then. I definitely don't press it every time I use it. So the barrel's probably not always full of stuff. It only gives it a very light shine. So maybe that's why. You can actually also do it, I've seen people like flick it like this, but I get more success from doing it that other way. Okay, so I'm just going to pull these out and grab my, I've lost, my desk was perfectly clean when I started. So these are perfectly flat, so they're great when you don't want to add bulk but still want to add something a little bit pretty. These were carried over from the mini catalogue, I think, the Christmas mini catalogue. Okay, you probably can't tell, but they're very shiny. They're like a flat sequin, so they don't have any bulk to them. Okay. So then, I don't think we're going to add anything to we've done that bit. So now we can work on the belly band. So this is entirely the mechanism done. So now we want to work on the outside of the card. So I've got a piece of Shy Shamrock. And that's cut to 2 inches by 11.5. Now I'm just winging it with the 11.5 because the other one, I think I used a full 12 by 12 strip. So let's just hope this works. I just figured you do not need 12 by 12 cardstock to make this card. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up with the grid paper so I know I've got it somewhat even. And what I like to do is just fold it over, give it a light press, and then fold that over. You don't want to have it right tight against the card because you want the belly band to have room to move up and down. So once I've got that approximate, I can see the creases. What I like to do, and you don't have to do it this way, it's just that I like to do it, is I'm just going to bring in my stamping trimmer again, pop the scoring blade in, and then pop that score into the trimmer and just reinforce it. That way you get a nice neat score. It's probably my perfectionism coming out, but I like to just have that nice neat score. Now I'm going to fold back and reinforce those. Now, where this joins, I just want to add some glue. So I'm just going to add some glue right on that edge and fold that over. And that's going to create our belly band. Now to decorate the belly band, actually I'll put it on the card to decorate. Oops, that had not had time to glue. Okay, I'll just add a little bit more, I think. There we go. Now I have cut some belly band pieces, so I know I am pedantic. Okay, so I've got a piece of Shy Shamrock to 5 inches by 1 7/8, and then a piece of Designer Series paper which I've cut to 4 7/8 by 1 3/4. So I'm going to glue my piece of Designer Series paper first. I'm just going to glue this to the piece of Shy Shamrock. So this piece of Designer Series paper is also from the same Full of Life pack. And then I'm going to adhere this just to my piece here. So it makes that band nice and pretty. Okay. So now we just want to add our decorations. So this is where I've pulled in, I've got my, I don't know, what are these dudes? Walruses. And I have my banner, which I've cut out of Shy Shamrock Glimmer. And this is the circle I spoke about earlier. What I am going to do to this one though is grab some Lemon Lime Twist ink and a blending brush. And I'm just going to go lightly around the edges and add a little bit of ink. I love that it really pops up die cuts, makes them look really dimensional, so I tend to always do it. Maybe I should challenge myself not to. Now I'm going to pop this little label behind here. Now with glitter paper you could use glue dots or tear and tape, but I'm just going to be lazy and use a staple. Lazy or effective, I don't know. Now I'm going to adhere this to my belly band. I just want to get some, I have gone through so many dimensionals in the last couple of days. I've been and sticking them together, which makes them really useless. Oh no, there we go. So I only want to add dimensionals where it's going to touch the belly band. You do not want them over here because that will stick it to the card. So I'm just going to add a few. Make sure they're not going to hang over. Okay, so I want to stick that on. I love that this really accents the embossing folder in the background too. Okay, so now I've got my walruses and I'm just going to adhere those as well, but I want to adhere it so it's hanging over, so I will need a double height on its bum. Then I'm just going to adhere a few. Oops, that's... I can't wait to have a bowl of ice cream. Oh, it has, hasn't it? I've only got a few. Okay, so I just want to stick that one there. I haven't got any mini dimensionals though. I was looking for some and I don't have any. That shocked me. I don't use them much, but I thought I would at least have some. Okay, so I've got 3 more of these flowers and I'm going to stick those down to that belly band. So I'm just going to, I'm going to town with this glue. I really don't do well with a whole glue bottle anymore. I'm used to having it in a fine line bottle, so especially because I get shaky hands. One of my medications makes me have shaky hands, and it's always when I'm crafting. I did hear them open the front door, so I don't think it's melting on the doorstep, thank goodness. Now, I have stamped that I could just hug you on basic white with just some Shy Shamrock ink, and I'm just going to cut. I sort of trimmed it down ahead of time, but I'm just going to cut the ends of that one. I'm going to stick it on the walrus's butt. So I'm going to stick it like that. And then I want to add one of my little hearts up here. I'm going to bring back those discs. So I'm going to add them into the flower centers again. Using a million different, yeah, he uses tons. He goes to town on those things. I reckon I used a lot of liquid glue with his project because I had so many pieces. When I was cutting out the pieces, I was like, wow, that's a lot. And I think I added, no, I've already added Winker Stella there, but I might add a little bit of Winker Stella just because, you know, there's not enough Winker Stella, and there can never be enough Winker Stella. And then I might just, you know, add some more. And that is seriously it. That is the card. So I will share, this one's already opened. So we've got the belly band, and then if you didn't catch the start, yeah, it opens, and then we just flip open to another panel. Now you could write on, I was thinking this earlier, I was like, oh, is there anywhere to write? But you could write here, or you could make these panels white and write on them, or you could actually keep a panel, I was going to say clear, but empty to write on. It's completely up to you. The back panels are actually white because that's how the mechanism works. It's just, we're folding them together and then opening those bits that we've actually cut. So now I'm actually looking at it, I understand how the mechanism works, but it's really fun. So, and then we just fold it together. You could actually also have it folded this way and tie it up with a ribbon. I just really liked it folded together and having a belly band. So it was super fun to make, and I want to try it with some other products. So I think it would be really cute. So I hope you enjoyed it. I've called it the hidden, I think that originally it's called the secret message card, but I didn't really have a secret message. The reason I went with this bundle is because I could just hug you, then you open it up and it says sending a big hug, and then so it's there when you need it. That was why I chose that particular one, as I liked the sentiment and how it worked together. So I had the 3-step sentiment. So it was a bit fun, and I had fun playing with embossing too. I haven't done clear embossing in ages. That's just 2 different ways you can use it, with embossing folder or also with a stamp. So I will finish off the PDF tutorial for this. It's almost written, and do a blog post, and I'll probably share the PDF tutorial tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed seeing me live again, because I haven't been in almost a month, or over a month actually. Don't forget that if you want the Hearts and Hugs bundle or any of the bundles that Stampin' Up offers, well, the Stampin' Die bundles, they're 10% off this month, as well as the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. So just order a glue press, yes. Yeah, so that only for this month, and I will be sharing, I did share on my page that there's online exclusives coming, and you can get those early if you join and add them to a starter kit. So if you want more info on that, let me know and I can send you those details. Heidi, I got cookies and cream. That's if they haven't substituted it, because I don't know that yet. But I love cookies and cream, and Hokey Pokey ice cream is my absolute favourite. I also love Hokey Pokey Whittaker's chocolate. I don't know what it is with Hokey Pokey, but it's definitely my favourite, and it makes me think of that song. But yeah, so keen. So I don't know how long I have actually been live for, probably just over an hour. What company? Ice cream? Connoisseur? I can never say it. Coles, Megan. We're not that fancy here in Tassie. We don't have many options. We do have cold rock, but it would be melted by the time it got here. Okay, so I'm going to head off and go and have some ice cream, and you do not want to see my desk. It's terrible, so I might give it a bit of a clean. So I will chat to you guys next week, though. I will be live on Saturday again, and I hope you have an amazing week. Bye.